Hi, it's Simon again. Welcome back to my cognitive stimulation therapy blog or vlog for people with mild to moderate dementia. I hope you've all had a really lovely holiday, nice Christmas, and Happy New Year to you all. I hope it was everything you wished for. It's all over a bit quickly, isn't it, really? Where did the time go, eh? So all the decorations are down now, and we're moving on to the new year. Bit of snow in the weather, so that might be fun, as long as you can stay in and look at it. So this CST page, this activity page, is a memory quiz, and it's about people that we've lost in 2024. Famous people who've died, notable deaths in 2024. Hopefully it'll be a nice way of reflecting about the last year and celebrating the lives of the people who've gone before us and the legacies they've left behind. So what it embraces is a picture. I think there are about 35 people. So I'll show you the person first, and then you've got a chance to guess who they are and recognize them. And then I'll put their name up on the screen and their date of birth and death. And then there'll be just a single question about each of them. So I hope you enjoy this one. Please do let me know in comments below. I think there's a comment button you can push down there somewhere. But also give me a thumbs up, a like, because that really helps me out. And also you can subscribe to the channel, and that would be really great. I think there's about 29 subscribers at the moment, so it's a slow start, but I'm pleased with progress. But it'd be nice if more people knew about this free resource. So see how you get on. Oh, there's some lovely music in here as well of people who've died this year. So enjoy it, and I'll see you later. Bye for now. So our first famous person who died last year was Dame Maggie Smith, a British actress known for her dramatic roles and her comedic roles as well. She had a career that lasted over 7 decades and was one of Britain's most recognisable and prolific actresses. So the question is, what role did Maggie Smith play in Downton Abbey? Our next famous person is Donald Sutherland, who was a Canadian actor with a career spanning over 6 decades. He rose to fame after roles in the war films The Dirty Dozen, MASH and Kelly's Heroes. But the question is, his 1973 horror movie, Don't Look Now, was based on a novel by which author? So our next famous person was Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the USA, serving from 1977 to 1981. He was awarded the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize for his work to find peaceful solutions to international conflicts. So the question is, before his political career, what crop did Jimmy Carter farm in Georgia? Our next famous person is Steve Wright, who was an English disc jockey, radio personality, and occasional TV presenter. So the question is, which radio programme did Steve Wright host for 12 years on Radio 1 and 23 years on Radio 2? Next we have Annie Nightingale, who was an English radio and television broadcaster. She was the first female presenter on Radio 1 in 1970, where she stayed for more than 25 years, and the first female presenter of the Old Grey Whistle Test, where she stayed for 4 years. The question is, Annie Nightingale was a fan of new music genres and famously ushered in which two new music styles? Our next famous person was Shelley Duvall, an American actress and producer. Known for her collaborations with Robert Altman and for playing eccentric characters, she won a Cannes Film Festival in 1977 for the drama Three Women. The question is, who did Shelley Duvall star alongside in the horror movie The Shining? Our next famous person is Timothy West. He was an English actor with a long and varied career across theatre, film and television. He acted 3 seasons with the Royal Shakespeare Company during the 1960s, and his first TV role was King Edward in Edward VII in 1975. But the question is, who was Timothy West's famous actress wife? She's pictured here. Our next famous person is David Soul. He was an American-British actor and singing. With a career spanning 5 decades, he rose to prominence for portraying Detective Kenneth Hutchinson in the TV series Starsky and Hutch. He also found success as a singer, with singles such as Don't Give Up on Us Baby and Silver Lady. But the question is, what was the name of the informer in Starsky and Hutch? Now we come to our first music break, which is David Soul's Don't Give Up on Us.
Don't give up on us, baby. Don't make the wrong seem right. The future isn't just one night. It's written in the moonlight, painted on the stars. We can't change ours. Don't give up on us, baby. We're still worth one more try. I know we put a last one by, just for a rainy evening, when maybe stars are few. Don't give up on us, I know we can still come through. I really lost my head last night. You've got a right to stop believing. There's still a little love left, even so. Don't give up on us, baby. Lord knows we've come this far. Can't we stay the way we are? The angel and the dreamer, who sometimes plays a fool. Don't give up on us, I know we can still come through. It's written in the moonlight and painted on the stars. We can't change ours. Don't give up on us, baby. We're still worth one more try. I know we put a last one by, just for a rainy evening when maybe stars are few. Don't give up on us, I know we can still come through. Don't give up on us, baby. Don't give up on us, baby.
Okay, so our next famous person was John Savidant, who was a British actor known for numerous television roles, especially his portrayal of Fred Elliott in the soap opera Coronation Street from 1994 to 2006. The question is, what was Fred Elliott's job in Coronation Street? I said, what was Fred Elliott's job in Coronation Street? Our next famous person is Dr. Michael Mosley, who was a British television and radio journalist, producer, presenter and writer who worked for the BBC from 1985 until his death. He presented television programmes on biology and medicine mostly, and appeared regularly on The One Show. So the question is, how did Dr. Michael Mosley help us improve our health? Next up we have David Wilkie, who was a Scottish swimmer who won the Olympic breaststroke gold in 1976, the first British swimmer to do so since 1960. He is the only person to have held British, Commonwealth, European, World and Olympic swimming titles at the same time. So, question, where were the 1976 Olympic Games held? The next famous person who died last year was Dave Myers, one of the hairy bikers. He also appeared on the BBC celebrity talent show Strictly Come Dancing. But the question is, who was his other half, the other hairy biker? Next we have James Earl Jones, who was an American actor and a pioneer for black actors in the entertainment industry. He received an Academy Honorary Award in 2011. The question is, which part did James Earl Jones voice in the Disney film The Lion King? Next we have John Prescott, who was a British politician who served as Deputy Prime Minister from 1997 to 2007 and as First Secretary of State from 2001 to 2007. He was a Member of Parliament for Kingston upon Hull East for 40 years, from 1970 to 2010. Well, the question is, what was his nickname? Next up, we have Sven-Göran Eriksson, who was a Swedish football player and manager. He went on to experience major success, including managing the England team from 2001-2006. The question is, which TV presenter did Sven-Göran Eriksson famously date in 2002? Next we have Eric Carmen, who was an American singer-songwriter. He was the lead vocalist of the Raspberries, which recorded the hit Go All the Way, and he embarked on a solo career in 1975, achieving global success with All By Myself. So the question is, which 2001 rom-com movie saw Renée Zellweger lip sync to a version of All By Myself sung by Celine Dion in the opening titles? Our next song break is All By Myself by Eric Carmen, a truly lovely track.
When I was young, I never needed anyone, and making love was just for fun. Those days are gone. Living alone, I think of all the friends I've known. When I dial the telephone, nobody's home. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore. All by myself, don't wanna live all by myself anymore. Hard to be sure, sometimes I feel so insecure, and love so distant and obscure remains the cure. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore. All by myself, don't wanna live all by myself anymore. When I was young, I never needed anyone, and making love was just for fun. Those days are gone. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore. All by myself,
Our next famous person is Ian Lavender, who was an English stage, film and television actor, best known for his role as Private Pike in Dad's Army, a BBC sitcom set during World War II, of which he was the last surviving main cast member. So the question is, in Dad's Army, what did Captain Mannering regularly call Private Pike? The next person is John Peter Rhys-Williams, JPR Williams, who was a Welsh rugby union player who represented Wales in international rugby during their golden era in the 1970s. The question is, what was JPR Williams' other successful career? Our next famous person is Geoff Capes, who was a British shot putter, strongman and Highland Games competitor. He was famous for his sporting prowess and appearances on television in shows like The World's Strongest Man. He received the Queen's Silver Jubilee Medal in 1977 for community service. This is a nearest guess question. Geoff Capes still holds the 1980 British record for the longest shot put ever thrown. How far did he throw it? Next, we have Quincy Jones, who was an American record producer, composer, arranger, conductor, and band leader. Over the course of his 7-decade career, he received many accolades, including 4 Academy Awards and a Grammy Legend Award in 1992. So the question is, he produced 3 best-selling albums for which pop star? The next person is Alex Salmond, who was a Scottish politician who served as First Minister of Scotland from 2007 to 2014. He was leader of the Scottish National Party on 2 occasions, from 1990 to 2000 and 2004 to 2014. But the question is, what year was the Scottish independence referendum? Next up we have Johnny Walker, who was an English radio disc jockey and broadcaster. He began his career in 1966 on pirate radio and joined Radio 1 in 1969 and Radio 2 in 1998. The question is, what was the name of the pirate radio station which was broadcast from a ship offshore? Next we have Johnny Irwin, who was an English television presenter, writer, lecturer, businessman and property expert. He was best known for presenting the Channel 4 lifestyle programme A Place in the Sun and the BBC daytime programme Escape to the Country. But the question is, before finding TV fame, what sport did Johnny Irwin play before breaking his back? Next up we have Steve Harley, who was an English singer-songwriter and frontman of the rock group Cockney Rebel. The band achieved 6 UK hit singles in the mid-70s, including with the #1 smash Make Me Smile. The question is, where do you have to be born to call yourself a Cockney? Okay, our next music break is, of course, Cockney Rebel, Steve Harley with Come Up and See Me, Make Me Smile.
You've done it all. You've broken every code. Paul what you want, running wild. There's nothing left, all gone and run away. Maybe you'll tarry for a while. It's just a test, a game for us to play. Win or lose, it's hard to smile. Resist, resist. It's to yourself you have to hide. Oh, come up and see me to make me smile. I'll do what you want, running wild. There ain't no more, you've taken everything from my belief in Mother Earth. Can you ignore my faith in everything? 'Cause I know what faith is and what it's worth. Away, away. And don't say, maybe you'll try to come up and see me, to make me smile. I'll do what you want, just run wild.
And we come to our final round. Barry John was the Welsh Rugby Union fly half who played in the 60s and 70s during the amateur era of the sport. He was part of the team that won the 1971 Five Nations Championship, the first time since 1952. So the question is, what's it called when one of the Six Nations teams win every match in the tournament? Next we have Ray Reardon, who was a Welsh professional snooker player who dominated the sport in the 70s, winning the World Snooker Championship 6 times. The question is, due to Ray Reardon's dark widow's peak and prominent teeth, he was nicknamed what? Our next famous person is Chris Christopherson, an American singer, songwriter and actor. He was a pioneering figure in the country music movement in the 1970s and also embarked on a successful career as a Hollywood actor. The question is, in which 1976 movie did he star alongside Barbra Streisand singing the song Evergreen? Next up we have Glynis Johns, a British actress who had a career spanning 8 decades on stage and screen. She won a Tony Award in 1973 for Best Actress in a Musical for the movie A Little Night Music. But the question is, in the 1964 movie Mary Poppins, Glynis Johns was depicted as a member of which protest movement? Then we have Mitzi Gaynor, an American actress, singer and dancer who achieved international fame for starring in the 1958 movie by Rodgers and Hammerstein, South Pacific. She was nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress at that year's ceremony. So the question is, where was South Pacific set? Think of one of the titles of the songs in the musical sung by Bloody Mary. Terry Griffiths was another Welsh professional snooker player, coach and pundit. After winning several amateur titles, he turned professional in '78 at the age of 30. In his second professional tournament, he won, and that was in 1979, the World Snooker Championship. But the question is, what was the name of the TV show in which single-frame knockout snooker games were played in black and white TV? Next we have O.J. Simpson, who is an American professional football player, actor and media personality. He played football in the National League for 11 seasons, primarily with the Buffalo Bills. His success was overshadowed by his criminal trial and controversial acquittal for the murders of his wife and her friend in 1994. But the question is, which 1988 comedy movie did O.J. Simpson star in alongside Leslie Nielsen? Next up we have Martin Lee, who was an English singer-songwriter, best known as a member of the pop group Brotherhood of Man, who won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1976 with their song Save Your Kisses for Me. The question is, can you name either one of their other two British number one hits? And as our next song break, we're going to watch that Brotherhood of Man Eurovision Song Contest performance.
Though it hurts to go away, it's impossible to stay. But there's one thing I must say before I go. I love you. I love you. You know, I'll be thinking of you in most everything I do. Now the time is moving on, and I really should be gone, but you keep me hanging on for one more smile. I love you all the while. With your cute little way, will you promise that you'll say your kisses for me? Save all your kisses for me. Bye-bye, baby, bye-bye. Don't cry, honey, don't cry. Gonna walk out the door, but I'll soon be back for more. Kisses for me, save all your kisses for me. So long, honey, so long. Hang on, baby, hang on. Don't you dare me to stay, 'cause you know I'll have to say that I've got to work each day, and that's why I go away. But I count the seconds till I'm home with you. I love you, it's true. You're so cute, honey G, won't you save them up for me? Your kisses for me, save all your kisses for me. Bye-bye, baby, bye-bye. Don't cry, honey, don't cry. Gonna walk out the door, but I'll soon be back for more. Kisses for me, save all your 'cause you know you've got to save your kisses for me. Save all your kisses for me. Bye bye, baby, bye bye. Don't cry, honey, don't cry. Won't you save them for me, even though you're only 3?
And finally, I wanted to pay tribute to another two people. The first is Liam Payne, who was an English singer and songwriter and a member of the pop band One Direction, which is one of the best-selling boy bands of all time. He sadly fell from a balcony in a hotel in Argentina in October. Terrible early death at the age of 31. Perhaps one of their best singles was What Makes You Beautiful. Sadly, I don't think I'll get away with copyright to play the video of this song, so look it up afterwards. And finally we have Rob Burrow, who was an English professional rugby league football player. He was a scrum half or a hooker. He spent his entire career with the Leeds Rhinos. In December 2019, he was diagnosed with motor neuron disease and was awarded a CBE in 2024 with his friend Kevin Sinfield because of their efforts in raising funds and awareness of the disease, which is closely related to frontotemporal dementia. Okay, it's time for some answers. Let's see how we got on. So first up, we had Dame Maggie Smith, and she starred in Downton Abbey as the Dowager Duchess Lady Violet Crawley. Next we had Donald Sutherland, and the person who wrote the book Don't Look Now was Daphne du Maurier. Next we had President Jimmy Carter, who used to farm peanuts. Then we had Steve Wright, and his radio show was titled Steve Wright in the Afternoon. Next we had Annie Nightingale, and the two styles of music that she helped bring in were new wave and punk. Next we had Shelley Duvall, and her co-star in The Shining was Jack Nicholson. Then I asked who Timothy West's wife was, and of course it was Prunella Scales, and here she is in the sitcom Fawlty Towers. Then I asked about Starsky and Hutch, and what was the name of their informer, and it was Huggy Bear. Next we had John Savidant, who played Fred Elliott in Coronation Street, and his job, of course, was a butcher. Then we had Dr. Michael Mosley, and the way in which he helped improve our health was by encouraging us to eat healthy diets and to lose weight. Next we had David Wilkie, who won gold in the 1976 Olympics, which were at Montreal in Canada. Then we had Dave Myers, one of the hairy bikers, and his partner's name was Cy King. Then we had James Earl Jones, and he voiced the part of Mufasa in The Lion King. Then we had John Prescott, whose nickname was Two Jags, but actually it was changed to Two Jabs after he punched a man who threw eggs at him. Then we had Sven-Göran Eriksson, and he famously dated Ulrika Jonsson. And the movie where Renée Zellweger mouthed the lyrics to All By Myself in the opening titles was Bridget Jones's Diary. Then we had Dad's Army, and Captain Mainwaring used to call Ian Lavender's character, Pike, "You stupid boy." Next I asked about J.P.R. Williams' other successful career, and he was an orthopaedic surgeon in Cardiff. Next we had a nearest guess, and I asked, how far did Jeff Capes throw the shot put in 1980, a British record which still stands, and it was 71 foot 2 inches. Unbelievable. Next I asked, who did Quincy Jones produce 3 best-selling albums for, and it was Michael Jackson, and the albums were Off the Wall, Thriller and Bad. Next we had Alex Salmond, and I asked which year was the Scottish independence referendum, and it was 2014. Next up we had the disc jockey Johnny Walker, who started on Radio Caroline. That was the name of the offshore ship. Then we had Johnny Irwin, the TV presenter of Escape to the Country. His original career before TV was rugby. He played rugby before breaking his back. Next, I asked, when can you call yourself a Cockney? And you can only call yourself a Cockney if you were born within earshot of the Bow Bells in the east of London. Then we had Barry John, and the question was, what's it called when one team wins all of the games in the Six Nations rugby tournament? And of course, it's a Grand Slam. If a team loses all the games, then they get the wooden spoon. Next we had Ray Reardon, and his nickname, because of his hair and his teeth, was Dracula. Not sure how you felt about it, mind. And the movie that Chris Christopherson starred in alongside Barbara Streisand was A Star Is Born, and at the very end of the quiz we've got the track Evergreen. Next we had Glynis Johns, who featured in the movie Mary Poppins, and she played the role of a suffragette demanding votes for women. Next we had Mitzi Gaynor, who starred in the movie South Pacific, which was set in Bali High, and that was one of the songs in the show sung by Bloody Mary. Next we had Terry Griffiths, and I asked what the TV show about snooker was called, and of course it was Pot Black. You can just see him on the right in the background there. Then I asked what movie did O.J. Simpson star in alongside Leslie Nielsen, and of course it was The Naked Gun. And finally we had Martin Lee from Brotherhood of Man, who had a hit single with Kisses for Me, and that was the Eurovision Song Contest winner. And their other 2 UK #1 hits were Angelo and Figaro. Anyway, that's it for now. Look forward to seeing you next time, when we'll be talking about money, the root of all evil. Should be fun. And finally, we'll finish with the song. So here's Barbara Streisand and Chris Christopherson singing Evergreen.
Soft as an easy chair, love fresh as the morning air, one love that is shared by two, it's right.